Good morning and welcome to our community affairs program that we call 30 Minutes. Today our special guest is Mr. Kenny Etherton. He is the director of Fulton Tourism. Kenny, it's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Good morning, Charles. It's good to be here.
I started to look around the station before you got here to see if we had a hat rack because I didn't know if you wore them all. Your accumulation of hats over your career could fill up one of those very fast.
Sometimes I spin it around. I tell the story quite often. I used to go to, when I served in the fire department, I used to go to some of the Kentucky Firefighter Association's conferences and things like that. There was an older gentleman that was always there. He had a two-bill cap, and it said, "I'm their leader. Which way did they go?" So I tell that story quite often on myself. Sometimes I have felt that way. Which way did they go, or which way did I go?
But I'll tell you one thing. As far as community-minded, you've had the bug, and you've done a really good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. As I told you earlier today, I've served Fulton County, or the city of Fulton in some way for right at just a little over 40 years. I started my career in the fire department and moved on up through the ranks to assistant chief. Left for a little while, went to a chemical factory as a safety officer and one of the chiefs of their internal shift fire rescue squads, and I just didn't like it. So I came back. I've ran the transit authority twice. I like to tell people that I had a stupid attack and was city manager for 5.5 years of my life, and then I went back to the transit authority. Then I semi-retired from that, and I think I took on more responsibilities than when I was working full time. But I've got that kind of back now to just tourism, and still serve as one of our firefighters, one of our volunteer fire department, Fulton Fire Department. So,
would you say that all of those pieces of the puzzle have made a good puzzle, though?
Oh, absolutely. The things that we've been able to accomplish and that I've been able to see during my career, and that's exactly what it is. It's a puzzle, and it's helped me learn and grow in serving our community. Back in high school, I was probably one of the shy kids. When I got out and got on the fire department, and they got me involved with the JCs there in town, which we turned to Twin City Men's Organization, it brought me out of my shell, and that's where I really started learning community service and doing things in our community, and have enjoyed every minute of it. There's been high points, there's been low points, there's been good things, there's been bad things, but overall, it's been a great time.
Yeah. And your time as city manager, you said 5.5 years?
5.5 years.
I guess that did give you a chance to really in-depth learn about city government and how it actually operates, which I'm sure you've probably been able to use in other jobs, right?
Yeah. I thought I knew what a city manager was supposed to do till I sat in the chair. And then I was like, wow, there's a whole lot more behind this. But yeah, it gives you a great opportunity to learn more in depth of the things that happen in the community and what goes on in the community, and just everything that goes on, what it takes to operate a city government. Most people don't understand what it takes to operate any government entity as a whole. There's a whole lot that goes on behind the scenes that most people don't recognize.
And one of the most important things, and you and I have talked about that before the program started, because I myself have had experience as a city commissioner, is that when you are involved in city government, you better have patience.
Absolutely. If you think something in government is going to happen overnight, let me tell you something. You better wake up out of that dream, because it's not going to happen. There's nothing, whether you're a local government, a state government, or federal government. There's nothing that happens quick at all. And then when you get into having to bleed over into the federal government side of it, it will almost put a showstopper on.
Yeah, the process, the slow process will sure get you. Of course, you were probably the same way I was. Went in there with all these goals and all these things you wanted to get done, And I don't care if it's a pile of dirt across the street and you want to move it to the other side of the street. There is a process that takes place to do that. You just don't start shoveling. And I'm correct, right?
Absolutely. I've written letters during my time as the transit director to do something with a federal grant that we operated off of or something like that. And they would send it back to me and say, well, that's not what we want it to say. We want you to use this word. Well, okay, look at your thesaurus. This word means the same as the word that I used. And so that's how crazy that it can get with dealing with government.
Now, who was the mayor in Fulton while you were serving as city manager?
I served under Eddie Crittenden and Dan Vogeley.
Yes.
Is who I served as. Elaine during my end time there was the mayor. Elaine Forrester was the mayor. So I worked under 3 mayors there.
Now, you did a tremendous job with the Transit Authority. I mean, when that started, it was operational. I mean, it was serving its purpose, but you just turned it upside down into so much bigger than I think most people ever envisioned it to be. Did you realize how important the Transit Authority was to this area, to the community?
No, I didn't. When I first took over, my goal when I first took over was to get back home. I was working in Calvert City. I wanted to move back home and work in our community. That was my goal then. And when I first took it over, jokingly, I called my old boss in Calvert City. Said, "You filled my position yet?" He said, "No." I said, "I want to hold on to that. I'm not sure what I got into here." And when I finished my first week there, I had like $500 left in the bank after I'd made payroll and those kind of things. And so it was very eye-opening, and it was a quick learning experience to what you had to do to keep that thing moving. But we just stepped in there. I had a good staff when I went in there that was willing to roll up their sleeves, go to work. And we just started building, and we started marketing and telling people what we could do, what we actually did. The Transit Authority is so much more than just taking people to doctor's appointments or dialysis or those kind of things. And we have done so many different programs there that gets people to point A, point B. And a lot of people, they didn't have another way to get there. So I always said I could go home at night, lay my head down, knowing we did the right thing. We let somebody have a normal quality of life. So many people in their life wind up as caregivers to their parents. They still have to work. So many times we got those people, their parents, to doctor's appointments, and they could follow and be there with them, then go back to work, and we would take them back. So those are things that we do. And we started the Amtrak program. People were showing up at the police department and say, "Hey, can you take me to the Amtrak station?" So we started that, of being able to pick people up, take them to the Amtrak station at that wonderful 3 a.m. and 1 something in the morning that the Amtrak station comes through Fulton County. So those are just things that we started doing, and we started beefing up our demand response of taking people to the grocery store, those kind of things, and working in all of our counties.
So you really just started thinking out of the box as how we can keep these vans moving and people driving them. And you probably realized really quick just how many people, and I think you alluded to that, don't have transportation.
Yes. Yeah, there are so many people that can't do the simple thing as go to the drugstore or go to the grocery store every day. So, we just started the fact of, hey, we can take you there. We showed up at job fairs. We showed up at any community events, educating the public about what the Transit Authority could do. We started educating elected officials throughout the 4 counties that we served, what we could do, what we couldn't do, those kind of things. So it worked out really well, and it turned the transit authority around, made it viable.
Yeah, and you expanded into the counties that you served also, didn't you?
We did. We expanded our service. We service Fulton, Hickman, Graves, and Carlisle counties. So we started there and expanding the services that we offered there. And again, it was education.
Yeah. When you started, how many vans did you have on the street? And when you ended, how many vans did you end with approximately?
I had 12, 15 vans that I jokingly say were held together with duct tape and baling wire.
To start, you mean?
Yeah, when I started, and they were, again, it was a great staff that worked hard, from the administrative staff to the drivers that worked really hard in that. And then when we got to replace every one of them within the first year that I was there, and that was a huge help to the transit authority. But from the first time I was there until I took the city manager's position in Fulton, we expanded from those 12, 15 vehicles. We had about 20 employees. We had expanded to about 25 vehicles and probably 35, 40 employees over that time. They maintained that during the time that I was there, until I came back. And then up until COVID, we had, we probably had about 62 employees at our peak and over 30 vehicles in our fleet. We expanded that to about probably 40 vehicles over time. When COVID came and when the tornado came, Mayfield, we lost 10 vehicles in the tornado in Mayfield, and I struggled, and the new administration there struggled to replace those, and they finally have ordered some this week to replace those. So they were almost like I was when I took over the first time, of duct tape and baling wire, because of the miles and not being able to replace the vehicles. And I've heard everything from supply chain issues to we're not manufacturing, trying to replace those vehicles. So, it was just the after effects of COVID.
Do you actually have people, or does the Transit Authority actually have people that use that for their means to go back and forth from work?
Yes. That was one of the programs we started when I was there. We started a Ride to Work program, and they could buy special pass for a month and be able to go back and forth to work with that until they got transportation. We even had some industries that bought in and would buy them their first week or two of passes for them to be able to get to work till they could afford a vehicle or something like that. So, or till they could afford it themselves.
You also delivered meals to individuals too, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. They still do today. Delivered the senior meals. Again, during COVID, that number just exploded. We probably delivered 50 to 60 meals a day during COVID for that. Other than that, it's probably about 30 to 40 meals a day that we delivered to seniors in Fulton County.
It makes me wonder, where would we be without that?
Oh, it's a great service. I woke up one day realizing how important it was, and I was the director. My mother had an appointment. She was in the nursing home there in Fulton. She had an appointment. I didn't have a vehicle that I could get her in. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And then I realized, hey, wait a minute. You run a fleet of vehicles that are handicap accessible that you can get her there. So, I mean, even as the director, I became a user of the system for my mother, and realized from that perspective that it gave me a whole different look on an outlook on how we should run the place and what we should be doing during my time there.
I have to admit, my grandmother used it also while she was in the nursing home, and Sam Jones was her driver. I'm telling you, she always wanted Sam to take care of her, and he did a fantastic job for you.
Sam was great. He was one of the great employees. Miss Barbara, his sister, still serves on the board of directors there for the Transit Authority. Sam was greatly missed when he passed away.
Yeah. And he had several years in with you also, didn't he?
He had 20.
20, I knew it was a long time. Well,
Yeah.
that's a testament to who you had working for you there.
Absolutely.
You and I have bumped into each other here recently a couple of times with some events and activities going on in Fulton, and I just have to bring that up. We were at the dedication of building the new homes, and for the $13 million check to revitalize the natural gas system. I just have to say there's an uptick in what's going on in the city of Fulton. Correct?
Absolutely, there is. To quote our city manager, Mike Gunn, there's more sawdust flying in Fulton than there's been in 2 decades. We have a new medical clinic being built across from City Hall in the old Huddleston's building over there. They have completed the first house, almost completed the second house. The first house has somebody living in it. They're working on the second house. It's almost done. Well, then we have house 3 and 4 that's going up. We have 80 to 100 houses to build over the next several years in our community. That's a huge revitalization to our community. With the mobile workforce, you don't have to live in a certain area anymore. There's so much work from home and those kind of things. So we have retired people looking for homes. So it's going to bring people to our community as a whole to support what we do touristically, to the economy as a whole in the city. It will also help when we start looking at attracting industry and other businesses. There's places for them to live and not something they have to come in and renovate. So it's all great. We alluded to city government a while ago, and nobody knows what it takes to run a city. At almost $13 million will help revitalize our gas system on the east side of town. That system is old. People don't realize what is under the ground in our communities with water, sewer, and gas, and how old that infrastructure is. So it's a huge shot in the arm to our community as a whole.
City Manager Mike Gunn told me just eliminating the gas loss that they have now will be a tremendous impact on money saved for city government.
Absolutely. It's just old infrastructure. Yeah. And
1950s, isn't that right? Is that what he said?
Yes.
Installed in 1950s?
Yeah, so it's very hard to track that stuff down and run it down.
Yeah. Great day. It was a great day over there for sure. And
fantastic.
Congratulations to you and all who are part of getting things done over there. You've got and I told you this when we talked previously, you got a good nucleus, a group of people there who have just a sincere interest in the community, and the tide has turned, for sure.
Yeah, I see people getting involved that never have been involved in the past in our community. So that to me tells me we're doing something right.
Absolutely. Well, we had you here today to talk about Fulton Tourism. We got to get you some time in here. You have a lot going on there. We got to get that on the program today. And let's start with tourism. Where are we at? What's planned?
All right. Well, we've got a lot going on in our community with tourism, and it's kind of, do I start at the bottom of the list or the top of the list? It's kind of,
I'll leave it up to you.
It's kind of hard to decide where to start with that.
Of course, when people think of Fulton, they all think of the Banana Festival.
Right.
Tell us about the Banana Festival.
Well, we're in the planning stages. We're to the point that every part of my day now touches something to do with the Banana Festival. With events, with the vendors that are wanting to come and be there. My phone rings and questions and those kind of things. So, it's a big event. The past couple of years, on Friday and Saturday nights, we've drawn about 15 to combination of both nights, probably about 20,000, 25,000 people, combination of Friday and Saturday night. So that's huge to the Twin Cities of Fulton and South Fulton to be able to do that. We have most of our events in the planning stages. If you look at the tourism website, and that's just www.visitfultonky.com. If you'll go there and click on the Banana Festival tab, there are all the events are listed. The times may not be listed yet, but the days of the week that they're on are listed there. So you can go there and look and see what's going on. But we're doing good. Things are looking up, and planning's in progress for it is September 14th through the 21st are the dates of the festival this year. So come out, and the banana pudding will be at the end of the parade on the 21st. So come on out.
It's always a big time.
It is.
It really is a big time. I know you're having some things going on during the summer. You got some special events that'll be planned. Tell us about that.
By the time this airs, we will already had 2 of our events that's happened, and they both were great events. People coming to the community. Then coming up Saturday, June the 1st, Overwatch band. They're a local group of people that some of them I've known since high school that play in this group. One of them is distantly kin to me. One of them graduated high school with my twin. So that's how broad this base is of this band. But they will be playing on the Pontotoc stage June the 1st. They'll be there at 7 p.m.
Is there a discount for their charge then, since you're so directly connected?
No, unfortunately not. No, there's not. But they bring a crowd to the community, so that's really great. And then June 15th, we will have a movie in Pontotoc Park. It's going to be Paw Patrol. It's more kid oriented. So bring your kids out, enjoy a movie in the park. Hopefully we'll have some popcorn and some other things there that evening. So come out and enjoy those events that we have in the park. They're free. All you got to do is bring a lawn chair and sit there and just have a good time. Enjoy the music, enjoy the movie, whatever you want to do. I'll go a little bit further. We have an EDC. An EDC is a entertainment destination center. What that means is you can go into one of our 3 downtown restaurants, the Keg, the Meadows, or the Mexican restaurant La Cabana that's downtown. You can go in one of those. You can ask for a special cup that has our logo on it, and in a certain area, and Pontotoc Park is in that area. The downtown area is in that. You can walk around with a cocktail in that area. You can get your favorite cocktail in there. It has to be in a special cup. You can't bring it in outside. If you do, then you're subject to the laws with that. And if you take it outside the entertainment district, then you're subject to the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So we think that's a good thing for our community to help bring people in.
And a lot of communities are doing that now. I know Paducah and others around, and it's a great draw.
It is. It brings people out. It helps. It helps us from people sneaking it in. Too. So we want people. We want people to be responsible. But we want them to have a good time.
Right. So what's going on this year for July the 4th?
July the 4th. Once again, we will have our fireworks display after the Railroaders baseball game. We're working with the owner of the team to for the first 300 people to get in free, that tourism will pay for again, like we've done for many years. That's been a tradition for many years in our community. And again, we'll have the fireworks display after the ball game. You'll be able to move your lawn chairs or whatever out on the field, enjoy the fireworks display after the game.
And you shoot your fireworks across the street in the park, right?
We do. They are shot across the street in Fulton City Park there. So park is closed down that day for them to come in and set them up. And it's always a great show. It's about a 20-minute show. Yeah. And it's always a great show.
And a lot of people show up and watch the ball game. You 2 for 1. You can't
Absolutely.
beat that.
We had a sellout crowd last year.
Yeah. Cannot beat that at all.
And I have to take a minute and promote the Railroaders while we're here. They start playing ball in about a month. Right. They're in the park there, and they call it the Yard. It's a low house field. It's college kids that come in. It's a wood bat league, and they actually have recruiters from the teams, and they come and watch them. And we've had a couple people play in some of those, get recruited and get to play ball.
And play some Major League Baseball.
Yes.
If no one has ever took the time to come out and watch the Railroaders play baseball in that environment of the park, it's fantastic. It's great baseball.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. It's guys that are just trying to hone their skills that maybe are going to start maybe in the next year or two, but they just keep playing year round to get better. And it's
absolutely.
And the community takes them in too. That's what's really neat about that, isn't it?
They live in some of the homes there in the community, and they're a boost to our local economy because their parents come and watch them play ball. We've had them stay in the campground over there. We've had them stay in the hotel there in town, eating our local restaurants. So it's a boost to our economy as well.
Yes, it is. And of course, you have visiting teams. The league has really grown and expanded, so you have several teams coming in to watch the games and play the games. So if you haven't seen the Railroaders, you need to go do that. It's a very good night for sure. Well, Kenny, it's just it seems like everything is on the right path in Fulton.
We're moving. Just take a quick second. Ventures Village. It's going to be our Artisans Village up there. It's across from the keg behind the post office, right there in our farmers market area. When it's complete, it'll be artisans, people that have handmade goods to sell in there. It'll be a great asset to our community.
And you said looks like you're going to have room for 10 different vendors.
We have 10 buildings built. So far, we've got about 4 people who have filled out the applications that are interested, and they're not even complete yet.
Just another way to promote.
It is.
Absolutely, for sure.
It is.
Well, we appreciate all that you do, you continue to do, all that you've done in your work there for the city of Fulton. And again, I'll just say I think things are really on the uptick for you. And you have to say also, we got time to say this, you kind of have to say, as Judge Executive Jim Martin said during the ceremony a couple of weeks ago, the partnership with South Fulton is really paying off.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we used to call it the state line. And we used to say the other side of it. We've come to a new saying. It's across the street. Right. It's not the state line anymore. It's just across the street. We work very hard to promote each other now. So that's fantastic. We're one community.
Right. Well, again, we appreciate you being on our program today, and if we can ever help you with anything, any information you need to get out, feel free to contact us. We're here to help you.
This radio station and Thunderbolt Broadcast has always been a great partner.
Kenny, thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles. Good to be here.
And that concludes this week's 30 Minutes program. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And, of course, we invite you to tune in again next week at this same time as we bring you topics and information of importance to our community. From all of us here at Thunderbolt Broadcasting, until we meet again next week, I'm Charles Choate.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.